Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have CashApp, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that? Over the years, I've met some amazing women, and today I'm introducing you as a throwback to Marci Rosenblum. I interviewed her, and I have discovered she is a wonderful woman. Here's Marci. And I have a fantastic guest today. Her name is Marci Rosenblum, and she is the founder of Market It Media Group, and it is an internet marketing strategy team. Welcome, Marci.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I'm so excited to be able to share you with the listeners today. I really want to get into how you got your company started, why you love doing what you do, but we're going to start off with you giving us a little background information about you as far as where are you from, where were you born, where do you live now, and then up to how did you get your company started?
Okay, well, I live in Pasadena, California, and I've lived in California my whole life, born and raised here. I am grateful to be able to live here. It's quite an interesting place. Lots of businesses, lots of startups. But I am originally a designer. I went to design school back in the day, and I went to Art Center College of Design. And when I was at Art Center College of Design and I graduated in design, I realized that I wanted to be a web designer. And so what I did was I went back to their night program and learned the whole internet web stuff. And I was fortunate enough during that time to be mentored by Linda Wyman, who went on to start lynda.com, which was now bought out by LinkedIn. So I was very lucky to be a part of being mentored by some amazing people back in my early days. So I'm originally a designer, and I turned to marketer. Basically, after I got out of design school and I started doing web design, I realized that you can design great things, but how do you sell products off of these great web designs? And it was bothering me that I was able to produce some websites for small businesses, then I wasn't really into the marketing aspect of it on how do we get people to buy from us and come to the website. So I met an amazing person, actually, and I met him. His name's Ryan Kaltman, and I met him through his father-in-law, who I was doing some freelance work for. And this goes back about 15, 17 years. And Ryan saw my work and said, you need to get into marketing. And I have an amazing marketing people that I work with, that I study with, that I go to seminars with, that I go to conferences with, and I'd like you to come with me to one of them. And so I took him up on this offer. This was 17 years ago, and I went to these marketing conferences that he took me to, and my eyes became wide open. And I saw how I could take my knowledge and talent in web design and now learn the marketing aspect and put those two pieces together, and that was an exciting time for me.
Wow.
So that's how it all started, and it was a very eye-opening experience getting introduced to the whole internet marketing aspect. And it totally spoke to me. I became became incredibly excited, and I studied with those marketers for probably 5 years.
5 years, okay.
2000 to 2005.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of my career.
Wow, that's pretty exciting. You know, that was the next question I was going to ask. From the time that you studied with all those people to the time you became an entrepreneur, 5 years is a pretty good track record there.
Yeah, it's I'm very grateful that I was able to, somebody, saw something in me and helped me. And I think that that's what I'm all about in the big picture is, paying it forward.
Right.
I think that when somebody unconditionally says, hey, you know what, you should come with me to something, or you should be in this space, is a really great opportunity to have without feeling like you need to do something back for that person.
Exactly.
And then later on, I was able to do back to so many other people and pay that forward that it all comes full circle. And it's ironic because this gentleman that I'm speaking of is now a great marketer in his own right, and we are still friends. And a month ago, I went to a huge conference in Anaheim, California, and who do I see is Ryan Kaltman. And it was a 17-year full circle of we both were at the same event, representing our clients, and how far we've come since the day that he took my hand and brought me into the marketing world.
Oh, wow, that is so beautiful. You know, the thing, after I was reading a little bit about you, the thing that really stuck on me is I see that you do a lot of mentoring to youth. And because I have a passion for working with youth as well, that really connected me to knowing that you had a fantastic spirit, but also knowing that you had this feeling of wanting to reach back because people had helped you. So that's a really, really great spirit about you. And I know that's the thing that, of all the reading that I did about you, that was one of the things that really caught me. So if you could explain to someone who doesn't know anything about you and they said, describe your company and what it is that you do. And really the question they're asking is, what can you do for me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, small business owners I have a real love for. My parents were small business owners. They owned a 31 Flavors ice cream store, Baskin & Robbins for 15 years when I was a kid. My father owned all kinds of businesses. So as I got into this industry, I realized that I wanted to help the small business owner. And that's very important to me, to be able to take a small business from A to B to C to D and more. So I have a real love for a small business owner, and that's something that I don't take lightly.
Right.
As far as I've been doing this marketing stuff for so long. I remember being one of the first people on Facebook and doing a beta testing for them as they were going public, and all of these great things. So I have a lot of knowledge for all the years that I've been doing this, and I always think about, I can instill this knowledge in my clients, and I can help them grow and prosper and get results, which is what I do. And what Marketed Media is all about is it's a marketing company. It's results-based. This Marketed Media was developed only 3 years ago. My main umbrella is Marci Design. Marci Design's been around for 20 years. And I decided 3 years ago that I didn't want to attach my name to the new company name, so I called it Marketed Media, where then I could build a team and mentor young people and have a lot of people working with me so I could, teach what I know and train them in a way where we could work together and get good results for the clients that we work with.
Wow, that's
so
excellent.
The model of Marketed Media, which is 3 solid years now with a very strong clientele, was actually created because of my journey of being in and out of working for myself in different businesses and in different companies that I created. But also I worked in-house in corporate for many years. And the things that I saw and the things that I learned in the corporate world really helped me to understand how to have an effective business on my own, and how to, work with people and have a team and outsource some work and build a little virtual team of people, because I believe that what I was doing before was not effective. Having 13 employees under one roof and having an office environment, it was very expensive.
Right.
And overhead was expensive.
Right.
And all of the mistakes that I had made in the past with different opportunities that I had presented to me really opened my eyes. So when I created Marketing Media 3 years ago, it was about a result. It was to be results-based for search engine optimization, digital marketing, social media, advertising and marketing, integration and implementation, because small businesses had not, and it still aren't, implementing the social platforms properly, and they're missing out on more business in those areas. And they don't know how to implement them. They don't know how to integrate them into their business models that they currently have. And so a lot of the businesses are suffering now because of that. So that's why I created Marketing Media. And what I did was I came out with this results-based plan where I work with companies. They come on for 3 months, and if we get results and they like, and we are a fit, and it works, they're a fit for the team, and we seem to get along, then we take the contract to another level, and we keep moving with these clients. And, I'm happy to say that for the last 3 years, I've had the same clientele. These clients have been moving up and up and up. They're growing, and it's a very satisfying feeling to have clients doing well and continuing to use Marketing Media as their marketing team.
Wow.
And so it's been a great opportunity for me to really show businesses that I'm not an agency that's going to gouge them and suck them dry before we even get started. I'm going to be fair in how I charge these businesses and how we move forward together so that everybody's happy and everybody grows together. And that seems to be a great model for me and Marketing Media.
Wow, that sounds really excellent. It sounds like you really are focused on making sure they do get those results, whether they sign up with you for 3 months or 3 years. Now, if you could tell someone one tip to really, really get the message out about their business through social media, 1, what would be your favorite platform? 2, what would be the simple one thing they could do to get people to want to know more?
Well, I'm going to say Facebook is probably the one platform that everybody that has a business should be on. There's, billions of people in Facebook. So if your business does not have a presence there, then you're missing out on opportunities to get in front of people that you may not have ever been able to get in front of before.
Right.
So the way to get started there would be to just simply, create a business page and get the branded business online and get the products or services that your company is providing, and just making sure that you have that branded presence in Facebook. It's really an important thing. And the business pages are structured to show people in the area that business. So it's in the feed. And also in search. So a business page would be a great start for any business. And there's also, another aspect of Facebook where there's consistency needed with posting content. And the content that, businesses should be focusing on is what is a valuable bit of information, whether that's a video or a graphic or an article, that would be important to my users, to people that came to my business page. What would they, be interested in seeing?
Right.
And that's the real piece of the puzzle right there that businesses need help with, because you can't just post all day long, here's my service, here's my service, here's my service,
Right.
here's my product, here's my product, here's my product.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what Facebook is about. I think the most important thing is to be able to educate people, be able to give them good information about different things that relate and fit your business, and also be able to promote your products, but do it in a way that's not in anybody's face, and it's done in a subtle way, in a warm way of trying to, build a community around your business.
Wow, that's excellent. Now, let me ask you this question. What do you think about freebies? You're trying to get your name of your company out there. What do you think about freebies? I see a lot of free books, a lot of free workshops, a lot of free webinars. What do you think about giving away so much content?
Well, I do believe that you have to give to get. And so I think that it is important to give different things away. I mean, people love to get something for free. And it is also a good way to get an email address or a phone number or to collect data from a user and then be able to deliver them a piece of content that would be valuable to them.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's very important to do that. I think that also on social media platforms, it's just a nice way to introduce yourself and give things away before you start to ask people to buy from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's very important, and I think all businesses should have something that they give away, whether that is a coupon for their business, whether that is a free gift when you shop and you come into the store or online store, whether that is a free gift, added bonus, anything like that is going to be good for the social media environment and any environment for that matter. Having calls to action on your website that say, download this free report and delivering a nice, you have to deliver some good content if that's going to be a free report that they may not be able to find that information on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be special. It has to be, quality. And I think that if you do that, then people respect it, and that does draw them in.
Absolutely. Do you have any favorite books that have kind of helped you with your business or just helped you overall as an entrepreneur?
One of the books that stands out in my mind, one of the first books that I ever read going way back, I'm going to say 20 years ago. I think it's been out that long. If not, I apologize. But The Purple Cow by Seth Godin.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorites, and I'm going to tell you why really quickly. It's a very small little book.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say, well, it's all right, and for me, I related to it very early on. I believe that being able to stand out in what you do,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and being that purple cow in the pasture of brown cows is very, very important. And being able to just, be able to stand out at drop is a great branding tool. It's a great way for people to remember you.
Right.
And for me, I'll give you a quick little reason why that book is so important to me is I worked in a supermarket for the first 20 years of my career, from 16 years old to 36. I was a manager in a supermarket. I started out while I was going to design school, while I was going to art school, and all of these things, I worked in a market. And I had the opportunity to work in retail in a store and, really understand the customer, really understand what people are looking for, really understand why people grab that product on this shelf versus this shelf,
mm-hmm.
or the end of the aisle versus in the aisle, and all these great things. And for me, when I read The Purple Cow, it gave me this way of branding myself, and a lot of people who do know me know that I have different interesting haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stand out in that way. And the reason I did that was because when you work in a market, you're in a uniform, and you don't really get to wear different clothing and stand out. You can't. And back then, when I was in the supermarket, I wasn't able to even wear jewelry or tattoos. You weren't able to wear earrings. I mean, and we were very restricted.
Right.
Wore uniforms. So for me to stand out for 20 years in a uniform, I just started to have some fun with my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, it was my brand. And now, after all these years, everywhere I go, people remember me with the hairstyles, and it's really branded me and sort of brought me all these years into who I am now, and people remember me everywhere I go.
Wow, you know what, that what you're saying,
on me.
what you're saying is so important. I've got a friend by the name of Louise Dewey. We call her Queen Louise over here in Texas, and she used to wear a little diamond butterfly on the back of her, a little scorpion or something on the back of her jacket. And so it was always a conversation opener, because people that would be standing behind her or looking across the room, it would sparkle, and they would be like, is that something on her back? But it was actually a pendant. And she did that on purpose, just as a conversation opener. So that is very clever, you know, about the hair, because that's one thing we're going to notice. You're going to notice people's hair. You're going to notice their jewelry. You're going to notice if they wear, you know, unique clothing or something. So that was very smart to do that.
Yeah, it was great. And again, you know, it was restricted. When people work in retail, they get to wear different clothing, and they get to kind of be who they are.
Right, right.
In a supermarket, you're not.
Yeah, everybody has to look the same.
It really helped me. And then, again, that 20 years working in a supermarket while I was, you know, developing my marketing and design career was so valuable, because I learned how to deal with people that shop and buy products, and both sides of the coin. So,
right.
You know, I really credit that job for who I am today.
Yeah.
And being able to understand products and retail and that whole end of the world, as far as, you know, the people that actually work in it, instead of just looking at it. So
right.
It's been a big help for me. And I love people, and that's something that's pretty obvious with me also, is people are very important, and I love knowing who they are and what they do. And everywhere I go, I want to know everybody, and it's something that was instilled in me very young. Other books that I've read that I like. Well, first of all, Seth Godin's an author that I love, but I've probably read every marketing book there is out there, and there are some very good ones. I also like to read just regular, stories, books that have nothing to do with marketing,
right,
that give me a little bit of a break and rest my mind and bring me into another type of a story other than what I'm in my industry work. So I do read a lot of books. There is a really cool book. It's totally off the cuff here, but it's called Dog on It by Spencer Quinn. And it's the book that I read just to get away from some of the marketing books. And it's told in by a dog. A dog is telling the story. Mm-hmm. And it's the best story. It's a great book. The dog's owner is a investigator for murders, and the dog's telling the story about living with this owner, and it's very interesting, and it kind of keeps you going, and it's a great book, and I recommend it to anybody who just wants to read a book that's just, on vacation and
right,
doesn't want to have anything heavy going on.
Right. So in the last, let me just pull out of the hat. In the last 8 years, how do you think marketing has changed? Because you've been in it for a long time. What would you say would be 2 or 3 things that you're like, well, it was once done this way, but in order to be effective, you got to do it this way? What are a few things that have just in the last decade have changed? Because it seems to me like in the last decade, there's been a major, major shift.
Big shift. The biggest shift is companies and businesses understanding where their budget needs to be allocated to. I think it's been very difficult on small businesses to grasp the digital marketing and advertising concept. And I think that they still think old school in a way of, I need to be in a magazine, I need to have an ad, I need to have, spend my money on a bus bench ad, or I need to be here, I need to be there. And I think it's very important that businesses understand what is best for them and what they should be doing. And for me, I think all things need to be done in a business. You can't just stop print advertising, and you can't stop advertising on a bus bench, but what you do need to do is allocate dollars for the digital arena. And video is something that, is taking over and consuming all of the platforms, and I think that it's really important for business owners to understand how to utilize that video.
Absolutely.
To be able to show their products, to be able to speak about their services, and to be able to understand how valuable that type of content is going to be now moving into the future.
Absolutely.
And even things like what we're doing right now,
right.
Talking to each other and being able to give this information out to other people, it's very important. A lot of people are just stuck in what they were always doing for the past 20 years, and they're afraid of the change.
Right.
But what I've seen is once they do grasp the change and they move into allocating more money for digital advertising, making sure that their website is seen on mobile devices, because more people are going on a mobile phone right now to look at your business than they are on a desktop.
Right.
And it's very important for businesses to understand that. I think that a lot of businesses still don't understand that mobile aspect, too, of how people are looking at your business on their phone. In their minds, they're looking at your business on a big screen still, and that's very hard to change with a business owner, to get them to understand that, no, they're actually looking at your business on a device that's this big, very small in their hand, and if they cannot see the offer or what you're doing, they're gone.
Right.
And it has to be, very easy for people to do business with you now, or they may go to your competitor.
Right, and being able to use that mobile device, because there's some people who don't have an iPhone or Android. They're just on a basic other kind of phone, so just keeping that in mind as well, right?
Yes, very much so.
Wow.
Yes. And, again, the easier it is to be able to purchase or call somebody or reach out to somebody on that phone is where the value is. And if it doesn't work correctly or you can't see the information, then that's not good for the small business owner or any business owner. And I think for me, that's where my mission is now, to help businesses create content and understand the mobile, where mobile's going, and how the search engines see a mobile device, and how because it's different than the desktop. There is even mobile search now. In my reporting that I do, I give information on where your site is on mobile Google and on desktop Google. So there's two different things. You can rank differently for mobile devices than you can for desktop. And I think businesses really need to understand that too. It's just a lot of education is what I do with my clients.
That's good.
And then implementation, and then they need to see those results. And once they see, wow, she just fixed something on my website, and now it's populated on mobile, and it's easier to read, and now my sales are up, or my traffic is up. And when they see that, then they understand it. So it's really a process with businesses to prove what you're thinking and how you're thinking, and show, and then get a result from it to get them to go, okay, we get it.
Right. Now, I know that you mentioned that working in that supermarket really taught you a lot of what you needed to learn to put into play with being an entrepreneur, and that was over 20 years. But what do you think it is that stuck on you that makes you who you are, makes you want to do the marketing that you do, makes you want to mentor the children that you mentor, the youth that you mentor, and also just gives you that overall fervor for doing what you do? What is it that stuck on you in life?
Well, I'm going to be very honest with you. I lost my mom when I was 23 years old from pancreatic cancer, and 10 years later, my father died of a heart attack. And I think that during those years, I had amazing parents, and they did everything for me, and they were just amazing. And I think that when you lose that, especially at 23 years old, for me, it changed my life. It gave me the will to live differently. It showed me that life is very short, and that, everything you do makes a difference. And it really gave me that drive to do as much as I could with my life because of losing my parents so young, and it gave me the strength and the drive to do so much. And as far as educating, I have always, when I was young, I would have a group of kids in my garage teaching them art. I've always been this person who loves to teach people and like leadership and being able to do good things with young people. And for me now, what's evolved is, first of all, I've been working with young people for the last, 15 years in the marketing industry, and I have worked and mentored some great people who have now gone on to do amazing things, and they contact me and say, you made such a big difference in my life, and you helped me understand so much, or you did this for me, or you did that for me, and it gives me such joy to be able to do that.
Right. Wow.
And I also was fortunate enough recently to have the opportunity to be a mentor, classroom mentor at Udicity.com, which is a online school that was developed in Silicon Valley by some of the biggest and best people out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was developed to train Silicon Valley students and also people who were interested in working in the Silicon Valley and working in internet and design and all kinds of, they do programs with self-driving cars. It's very sophisticated, and it's a school that's evolving, and it's backed by Google and Facebook and Moz and some great companies. And I was, lucky enough to have a person from that school reach out to me from LinkedIn. That's why LinkedIn is so important, to have a presence there, and asked me if I was interested in being a mentor for their digital marketing program and for the classroom students, and I was like, of course. And it's just been awesome for me. I have 26 students right now, and I work with them virtually, and they reach out to me if they have anything going on in the course that they need to discuss, or they're stuck, or they're just frustrated, or they're overwhelmed, and I've been able to, work with them and help them get through this program, and that's been so rewarding. And I do believe that my future will be educating and being more involved in helping young people evolve into this industry that I've worked in for so long.
Wow, that's excellent. And I know it's a really good feeling when they call you and say, hey, guess what I'm doing? And you're like, yes.
Yeah, it's great, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud to be able to help anybody, and I think giving back is so important when you're a business owner.
Yeah.
I'm also into charities. I'm sponsoring, Market Media Group is sponsoring an event next weekend for ALS research, and there will be a basketball game to raise money for ALS, and Market Media Group will be sponsoring that event, and we'll be there covering it live. TMZ is going to be there, and other great entities, a lot of celebrities. And, for us to be able to sponsor that event and be a part of, helping different charities is especially for me with my mother passing and my father passing, to be able to do all that has been a great for me.
That sounds
super. I'd love to be able to do that.
That sounds super rewarding.
I'm excited about our event next weekend, and I'm excited about other charity events that Market Media Group will be involved in moving forward.
That is so awesome. Tell our listeners where they can find you, Marci.
Well, you can email me directly at Marci, M-A-R-C-I, at marketitmedia.com. So it's M-A-R-K-E-T-I-T media.com. The website is marketitmedia.com. So, again, it's IT in the middle. A lot of people think it's marketing media, but it's M-A-R-K-E-T-I-T media.com.
Mm-hmm.
And, anybody who reaches out to me, especially from this podcast, if they, let me know that they heard me here, I'm happy to discount anything services-wise, and happy to do work with anybody who hears me on this podcast and provide a great discount so that
Absolutely.
get
Wow.
rolling.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My final question for you. Well, and this might be a hard one, but I'm going to go for it anyway. What could we not find, and the word was not find out about Marci, on Google? What could we not find out about you? It could be personal, professional, fun, funny, silly. Just tell us something that we would not be able to find out about you on Google.
Well, I think that people who know me, I have a fun sense of humor, and I also have a lot of empathy, and empathy is a big word in my life. I believe I was born with it because, when I was very young, I was caring about all these things that were different than other kids were caring about. If I saw an elderly person walking down the street, I wanted to go help them. I had this need to help people in me, and it's always been there, and it's been embedded in me. Not really sure where it came from. I've been told you're just born with it.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole life, every single report card, all the years that I went through school, it said, Marci has such empathy. Through my 20-year career at the supermarket, every yearly report, every yearly review was, she's got such great empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that empathy is a really important thing to have in your life. And I think that, if you care about people and you think about it that way, is, caring about people, and then hopefully it will come back to you, around and come back to you too. But it's a deep caring that I have for people, and to be honest with you, through my career, it's not always been the best thing to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because people think business owners is strength,
right.
and, don't cry, and don't be sad, and
right.
don't have feelings, and don't do this, and don't do that. And I could not fight was never able to, resist the empathy in me. I was not going to, try to get rid of that in any way, shape, or form. I use it as a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something that most people don't know about me.
Wow, I think that's excellent. Thank you so much, Marci, for being on the podcast today. I really appreciate it, and I'm just so happy that you accepted my invitation to be here.
Oh, well, I'm thrilled that you invited me, and I hope that we can do something more together in the future. And
absolutely.
I wish you so much luck in what you're doing. It's a great podcast, and I hope tons of people listen to all of your podcasts and all of the great people that you're interviewing. I did listen to them, and they were just fantastic.
Oh,
so
wow.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And for our listeners, you are listening to Stuck on Miss Dawn. And until next time, think about those things that have stuck on you and what makes you do what you do and what makes you so passionate about being an entrepreneur or wanting to be an entrepreneur. Again, until next time, think about what is stuck on you. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have CashApp, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?